You know that feeling when you need your drum tracks just to hit you a little bit harder? But maybe you've sort of hit a ceiling on how hard you can push things like your snare channel, toms, and kick. We're going over how to augment drum samples the right way to serve your mix and your workflow. Oh, and I got a bonus tip for you at the end. And I feel like it's something no one's taking the time to talk about. All right, so let's dive in. I've got a sesh here with a band called Ghosts in the Snow. Let's check out how these drums are currently sitting. You know, it's cooking, but I think that snare and kick especially can smack my ass a whole lot harder. So let's bring in a virtual instrument track, shall we? Snare, T as in trigger. We're going to be using the Blasting Room Signature series from Room Sound here, and we're on the Dark Beauty 6.5 by 14. Out of respect to the creators, I'm not going to play these samples in solo, just in conjunction with my drum tracks, so that the folks over at the Blasting Room and Room Sound do not get ripped off by me. Not in this economy. Let's solo that top snare. Let's double click to go into editing mode. All right, and now we're gonna go over to hit points and enable hit points. What we wanna do here is just bring down this threshold so it's gonna grab basically all of our snares. We can see where those lines meet up. Now, doing it this way is fantastic because we can erase or add anything that we're missing. So this guy here, let's see. This little guy's missing, so we can add one there. Okay, I think that'll work great. Let's Control A to select all of these. And let's go over here to MIDI notes. Now I know this snare is D1, so let's do that. I'm gonna keep it on dynamic velocity so it can sound nice and lifelike. And just keep it on the largest denomination here, just so it can grab every note possible based on your tempo. Now, in this orange here, we have all of these lovely snares that have triggered all the velocities in place. Okay, let's select all and just increase these a little bit with each other. Cool. So now let's hear what we got. So I'm going to come over here, add good old Kush UBK1. I'm going to open up some Fab Filter and get that fundamental just a little fatter. Another compressor right after that. We're cooking. We are cooking. This is sounding great already. Now, Clinton Adam Lisboa, what if I don't use MIDI to trigger my drums? Hot dog, I'm so glad you asked. Let's use Trigger 2 to handle our kick drum, because everybody has a plugin like Trigger 2, right? Here are my kick channels. I have a kick that's well inside the drum to get that batter slap. Cool, it's getting a nice little crack in there. This one's right outside of my porthole. And this is my sub kick. And all three combined. Cool. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to duplicate this first track here and copy this guy down. Okay, trigger 2. So here's what it sounds like with and without. Now the whole kit, without first. So yeah, here in Trigger 2, I'm just using a bunch of generic Stevens Slate sounds that'll come with any sort of library you purchase from them. Let's do without the snare and the kick. And with. Hey, that fucking rules. 5 out of 5 would go back. Now, here's that bonus tip I promised you. Do not, I repeat, do not forget to check your phase relationship between your new awesome sounding samples and your existing drum tracks. And I know what you're thinking, Clinton Adam Lisboa, how can that be when samples are completely detached sound sources from your tracks? So we're gonna bring in an instance of auto align, last in the chain from this trigger track. We're going to tell this to receive channel 2, which I know is my overhead left send. And now we're just going to loop this section here with clean snares. Did you hear that difference there? Not only is it not weird and flammy, and it's just crack because that low end's getting phased and canceled away, that fundamental and that pop now, it just hits you right in the chest. That's incredible. So we delayed this snare sample by 8.37 milliseconds for it to be in time with the rest of the kit, and it sounds amazing. So yes, samples do correlate to the rest of your kit, especially the closer and closer those samples sound. You will need to align time and polarity so that our sample doesn't cancel all of our beautiful, delicious fatness. Are you ready to level up your game even more? But I'm not gonna lie, this requires a lot of tedium. Why do I keep sounding like Dale Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome? We're going to listen to every trigger to make sure that all of our hits are perfectly in phase. You're more than likely going to get some less than ideal triggers here and there, but fret not, bestie. MIDI makes this shit so easy. Okay, perfect example. This one here, I think might be the culprit. Hear how that fundamental just sort of vanishes for this one hit? It's kind of just the nature of the beast, really. So what we're going to do is just highlight the hit, top left. Let's just delay this puppy a couple of ticks at a time until it's right back where it needs to be. Much better. Okay, so now you see this start decimal here is 113. So much better. That pop and that fundamental just came right back. And I've got one more small bonus tip for you. This is going to come in handy quite a bit. So after you're done, let's bounce our sample track to stereo audio, because I can't tell you how many times I've updated Cubase and I go back into an old sesh. All the sample tracks are totally out of whack. So this will save us that headache. This will still be here if you want to change anything. But now we just have a nice, clean audio file to work with that's going to just be nice and neat. And again, from the top with all of our new delicious stuff. If you got any value from this video, consider subscribing and comment down below. I'm here to answer all of your questions, share ideas for the next topic, and dive so much deeper. While I have you here, check out this next video. You might dig it.